A Canadian magazine recently published an article stating that 75% of restaurant owners in the small business realm are either actively losing money or struggling to stay afloat. If you're a restaurant owner in this struggle camp, which most are, then this video is for you. Because in this video, we're going to talk about what is driving this struggle, why you're not alone, and what are some things you can do to deal with this very clearly anticipated struggle in today's very difficult economic times. For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Pamela Metani. I'm a business lawyer and the founder here at Graphene Business Law, a law firm working exclusively with business owners and entrepreneurs throughout the province of Ontario, Canada, and doing so virtually. So we can serve you anywhere in the province of Ontario if you're a business owner or entrepreneur. If you're new to our YouTube channel, please give this video a big thumbs up and click on the subscribe button down below. It takes a lot of effort to post these educational videos, and Graphene Business Law's YouTube channel posts educational videos multiple times per week that are free and solely for your benefit as small business owners and entrepreneurs. The article published in Retail Insider cites two main happenings as being the primary reason that restaurant owners are either losing money or struggling to stay afloat on a day-by-day basis. The two main reasons cited are skyrocketing cost of goods and labor shortages. What do each of these mean? On the cost of goods front, if you run your own restaurant, you've probably noticed that the cost of food, for example, has gone up to what some might call all-time highs, at least in our living history. On the labor shortage front, COVID shattered employment standards, employment expectations, employment respect between employee and employers. And in some cases, it made very clear to employees how totally discardable and disposable they were, and that a boss could call them when they needed and get rid of them when they didn't need them. And it put those employees in the mindset of, well, I literally had to risk my life for parts of COVID and my boss still got rid of me like that. Or the employees that were all ushered into that sense of security by being told they could work remotely, they could work online, they could work in a certain kind of way, and then their boss snaps their fingers and now they're expected back at the office. While that latter example might not apply directly to the restaurant industry because it's an industry that's more difficult to take care of virtually, at least fully virtually, it is one that is indicative of the general sentiment in the air for employees. People don't care anymore. They are so mentally shattered by collectively, employees are so shattered by the atrocities of COVID and by the difficulties of COVID. People were fired when their bosses looked them in the eye knowing that these people had families that they wouldn't be able to feed. But so what? Didn't the boss have his own family? And the boss in some cases may have included restaurant owners, right? So that sentiment of anti-boss, of course, is going to trickle into your restaurant industry as well. As a lawyer here, I know that there are other costs and other factors driving the struggling restaurant industry, an industry which, by the way, has always struggled. I started my career in franchise law at one of the best franchise law shops in the province of Ontario. And franchises, as you know, most of them or many of them are in the restaurant industry, the food and dining industry. And one of the inside jokes we had at the office, if you will, was that making a small fortune in the restaurant or food and dining industry, how do you do that? You start with a big fortune. So the only way to end up with a small fortune was if you started with the big one and lost it. Because again, the sense that many practitioners are aware of is that generally it's very difficult to make money in the restaurant industry on a good day. And then you bring in all the implications that I mentioned with COVID, with global wars and affairs and states of the economy throughout the world that are driving those prices of goods, in addition to the COVID inflation that quite frankly never left. It just got worse owing to global affairs. So But I mentioned the inside joke as a segue, that other inside knowledge, if you will, that I possess as a lawyer, as a business lawyer that has clients, including clients in the restaurant industry, is that other factors, other costs have gone up as well. One of them is the cost of your space. So many leases. I don't know if I have any clients that haven't negotiated leases in the last few years, because so many took a break or closed down or were on hiatus, whatever the case may be during the peak COVID years, that so many leases for one reason or another either were or had to have been negotiated in very recent times. But what's happened in recent times, look at the cost of real estate around Ontario, especially in the larger cities. Leases now, people pay more for rent than they ever did. Look at the cost of utilities. People pay more for rent than they ever did. If you are a restaurant, for example, that is based on delivery, in the delivery model, you're paying more for gas than you ever did. If you're in the delivery model, I know, as most people know from owning and running a car, cars are costing more than they ever did. So that's another piece of equipment that'll cost you more, along with all of your other equipment. Okay, there are all of these factors that have gone into crippling the restaurant industry. And of course, the cherry on top is, not even having to do with what you as a business owner are doing day in and day out. It's with what the customers, the individuals you rely on to survive, are experiencing. And by far and large, they're experiencing tremendous financial difficulties themselves when people have to make active decisions over food and shelter on a daily basis. So your customers' ability, not desire, but a physical ability to come and afford your food is lower than ever in recent times as well. So how is that going to go? When, for all the reasons we discussed on the logistics front, your outputs, so the money you're paying out, are higher than ever by a lot, not by 1 or 2%, but in some cases, in some cost categories, 2-3 times as much. And the inputs, the money you're getting in from clients or customers, or the money you're supposed to be getting, is lower than it's been in years. Some statistics highlighted in this article to speak to both sides of the equation I just provided, for example, is that 8 out of 10 food companies are reporting less profits in 2023 than they did about half a decade ago in 2019. In the meanwhile, almost 8 out of 10, almost the same number, although the exact number in the article is 70%, so technically that's 7 out of 10, of Canadians are visiting restaurant facilities less frequency owing to financial circumstances. So you've totally been shot up on the end of, again, having to pay out more and having, less profits on your end logistically. And on the other end, you're being so squeezed by the fact that it's so hard to bring people through the door because people have to make decisions, survival-based decisions. And eating out, although food is a necessity, eating it outside of one's home is not most of the time, including, of course, special life circumstances, accessibility, people that physically can't cook for themselves, things like that. So what do you do if you're in the business industry and all of these struggles are happening? First of all, it is important to be aware. And that's not something that's going to help you and put money in your bank tonight, but that's something that'll help you here mentally. Self-awareness is crucial. And self-awareness in the restaurant industry, of course, includes being aware as to, the self in that setting, which is the restaurant industry. Understand, if no one's told you this before, in the restaurant industry, it is an industry where the average person is meant to be losing money. You didn't join an industry where you were meant to make money, where you had the highest chances of making money. In fact, you joined an industry with one of the lowest chances of bringing home positive money, right? Profits. And in so being, it's an uphill battle to begin with. I understand that a lot of people have joined the restaurant industry. It's one of the industries where we see a lot more passion-driven businesses, like somebody's so passionate about putting cultural recipes out there, somebody's so passionate about a certain food science or food technology they've got going on. So there's a lot of passion we see in restaurant owners in particular. However, passion doesn't pay the bills. And again, in terms of paying the bills, you're in an industry where it is less likely than other industries, than many other industries, that there will be that predictable opportunity to pay your bills there and earn strong profits. Okay, so self-awareness is the key. Then you have to look really carefully at whether you are struggling because that's what the macro data supports, and that's what the case would have been anyways in a certain part of your small town, a certain neighborhood in your big city, whatever the case may be, or if you're struggling because of your own competencies. As a busy professional, the reality is, and this is a personal tidbit, there are quite a few times where I rely on dining out to sustain myself during the day. However, I can tell you that the quality of food that is being served by small restaurant owners, because it's not the case that every small business owner in the restaurant industry is an angel, right? The quality of food has gone down drastically as well, because individuals, the owners behind the businesses, are making panic decisions as to how to save $1, forgetting that if the quality goes down sufficiently, you're not going to have any dollars to contemplate at any point, at any rate, because customers are giving you your dollars, and you're treating your customers like crap by giving them crap to eat. Okay, so some reflections are also necessary on whether your business is struggling because it would have struggled anyways, no matter what corner of Ontario it was in, for example, because that's what the macro again supports, or if it's struggling because you're actively doing something fishy in the background, or actively, have just not the right help, which for example, if you're hiring, a cousin that, can't cook water, because you are trying to save costs on hiring a skilled chef, not being so short-sighted, however, as to the cousin that can cook water is going to have your business shut down in 30 days, but that professional chef, while you might take a loss in the beginning to pay his salary with money you don't have, could be the reason that you're alive 12 months from now. Right, so reflecting on yourself, and depending on where that decision lands, then there are, of course, professional avenues to seek through which to grow your business, whether they be lending, like business loans, for example. You go to a bank if you've identified that capital is your only struggle and everything else in your business is perfect. Whether they be professional, you meet with a lawyer, you meet with a business consultant, you consider strategic partnerships, you consider ways to grow that business, whether they be just marketing and advertising. Not enough people know about what you're doing, and it's a great thing you're doing in the first place, right? So the solutions will depend based on the issue you've identified, but I strongly recommend that you spend that time identifying issues logically, not emotionally, that you cook the best food because everybody thinks they cook the best food. Logically. And again, that might involve taking on the services of a professional. And Graphene business law here, while it's not a legal service in and of itself, strategic advice and strategic guidance, of course, is inherently tied to the legal future of your business. Because if you have to shut down your business, well, that's a legal decision. If you have to grow your business through partnerships, mergers, acquisitions, whatever the case may be, those are legal decisions as well. So all that to say, we can help you with business decisions as regards the state of your business. We can help you make decisions and better evaluate the setting in which your business is in today to help you either avoid or embrace certain business legal opportunities for your business tomorrow. I'll leave this video there. It's not the intention that it's a 1-hour documentary. It's the intention that it's a quick check-in with you as a restaurant owner, while also being educational and informative. One of the biggest ways this video added value, by the way, is hopefully bringing some awareness to not just yourself and your business, but also what the restaurant industry is going through overall. So you understand that even on your worst day, you're not alone in this industry, but then hopefully you take it to the next level of self-reflection and self-accountability and go over all the things we mentioned in this video. Thank you for watching. If again you're new to this channel, go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe. And even if you're a returning viewer, of course, we do have quite a few returning viewers here, and our community is now over 2,000 subscribers strong. So feel free to also leave a comment in this video. It's one of the best ways to keep the community cohesive is through communicating with each other. And I do read and address all of your comments. So thanks again for watching, and hopefully next time you are Googling, trying to wrap your mind around what the difficulties with the restaurant industry are, or Googling why is running my restaurant so difficult, this video comes up in a way that is educational and valuable for you as a business owner in the restaurant industry. Thank you for watching.